Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking ocean/industrial age concepts, which were translated by Japanese scholars first into Japanese kanji, and Chinese just conveniently borrow that. 干部 is today's concept, and we can see simplified Chinese, which I grew up in, traditional Chinese, which Taiwan, Hong Kong, and almost the majority overseas Chinese that's not from mainland China were using. And then I'm showing you the 2000 years ago dictionary, the seal script version, to both versions. They came from different sources, meant differently, but can probably still have some meaning making that still makes sense today. Anyways, they share this bu and differ in the gan. All right. So if we translate word for word, it's a do unit. Doesn't make any sense, is it? Like, what is do unit? Well, it's actually, if we interpret it as the minimum unit that can do things for you. And this you would be any organization. And because of the historical context, this is especially from the ideology of communism context, that communist parties would regard anybody who signed up for their ideology as 干部, regardless of their exact letter on the peg order of their organization. Like whoever follow their way and could serve as almost like community leader would be regarded as 干部, and English concept would be cadre. This exact English word, we hardly hear it these days, right? Cadre. I have to check out the dictionary how to pronounce it. Anyways, 干部, how Japanese first envision what 干部 is about. Okay. So the do part, there are two ways. Simplified is simply this icon, which means it's an imagery that you can almost view as defense, because this curve with this pointy thing downward, we can almost visualize it as some natural force or external force that's kind of attacking you. Because for Chinese, in this 2D frame, is a first-person perspective, meaning the very bottom of the frame is you, your side. That's your, that's where nears you. Versus on the top, either we can view it from top down, like a heaven to earth direction, or from far to near, horizontally from further out to in toward us. So this direction is like this pointy thing. It's pointing toward you, first person perspective. And then we'll have this horizontal line. It's almost like trying to block it out, to defend. So according to scholars, this gan, which is Chinese simplified version use, that means originally a type of weaponry that's used as an offense, and later on it becomes defense, almost like a shield. So it depends on which part you're looking at. So I think the defense makes more sense, right? Since this is pointing toward you. So that means you're being attacked. And then you have this horizontal line to block it out, to defend your side. So that is the Chinese, simplified Chinese version. This character in contemporary Chinese simply means do, simply means you're taking actions. Either offense or defense, it doesn't matter that much. It's you're doing something, you're in action. And the traditional Chinese is way more complicated. And I think this traditional Chinese is more associated with Japanese scholars' first visioning of what this 干部, this cadre, how to visualize that. Okay, this the end meaning of this shape of character is the building, when you construct a new building. So the wood frames is scaffolding, I guess. The scaffolding, the wood blocks, which is the wood blocks, and the rest of them is like pointing upward, either the human breath here at the bottom left, or the plants, trident thing growing upward, or this triangle thing. All of these means going upward. And here, the spherical energetic ball with horizontal line energy from the ball, the sun symbol. So all these means kind of a beaming up, out and upward pointing thing. And this upward plus the wood symbol together means this upward pointing wood blocks that's used as the scaffolding before you can finish building something, some houses or something. So this was used to describe actually almost like equivalent of scaffolding of an organization, of a political party, that they almost like to exist, to exert influence, they need to have this framework. So this almost serves as the framework, and eventually got decentralized in the sense that originally it meant the framework, the whole thing, the whole kind of grander view of things. And eventually it means individuals who form such framework. So look at from macro to micro view. So this Cadre means individuals who follow this framework, and each of them can be this local influencer to further activate the local population to achieve their ideology goal. Okay, 部. Okay, 部 means unit. And originally it's a unit of almost like a municipal level of unit, kind of the Midwest of Chinese Midwest. That's not like far away from the central Chinese government. It's less developed, just like American Midwest. It's kind of sandwiched between ocean size, right? The middle part, the big land mass is less populated and is further away from the commerce or political center power. So Chinese Midwest is like, we don't have the ocean on the other side, but we have this huge mountain ranges on the higher elevation. You know, imagine Himalaya and all the mountain ranges next to it. So that's like a natural block to the outside. And then the Midwest would be somewhere in between, still higher elevation, less populated zone. So how that area was was expressed, it's interesting. The right side, this oval shape means the land mass. At the bottom is a side profile view of human figure kneeling or sitting on their heels. I mean, I cannot perform that, but imagine, I guess, Japanese nowadays, still some of Japanese, when they sit in a traditional way without chairs, they're sitting on their heels. And this is the side profile view. So here is a torso. And this vertical thing is their heel. So it's not proportional to the real thing, but it kind of exaggerated the heel so that you see this is a person sitting over the heel, and here is the knee, I suppose. So this kneeling position person means somebody who is in submission, because when you kneel, you lose your chance to fight equally, right? Standing, warrior to warrior fight. But when you kneel down, you automatically give up that chance to fight. That means you show through the body language submission plus the land. So that's submitted population and the land in there together. Both population and the land together form a unit of municipal or whatever government division. And the left side means negation. It's interesting. Negation, okay, just like this defense picture, we have this pointy thing going downward, and then it points all the way to the mouse symbol. So it's almost like verbally going against it. And instead of this horizontal line, kind of forms this defense of whatever pointing down toward you. Here, it's bent. It forms this big arch thing, but it kind of conceptualized the same way. Some external force pointing toward you, and you verbally forms this defense to try to block this power, external power. And then it's connected with this horizontal line with a chimney on the top. That's somewhat related to human, to mark it's related. It's something related to human. So we have this defensing verbally, and the whole thing eventually means it's pronounced as a po. We don't use it in our everyday language, but occasionally, like in this character, we see it as part of it. So po is almost equivalent to Chinese verbal negation. It sounds like this, pei. Okay, so when you pei something, you're almost like a spitting over, like verbally, without spitting, but verbally, audibly spitting, like a pei. So it's to describe your contempt, rejection, things you don't agree with. So you use that sound to negate it. And that's what this word is about. So negation plus this land and submitted population. What do you mean negate that? My imagination here, okay, is this Midwest part of land further away from central government. That means it's further away culturally, geographically away from the center power. So the central government would almost like automatically negate the way of the local cultural people and trying to control them, right? Control them by negating their way of life. And this negated unit of land people together forms this 不 concept. And this 不 eventually lost that negation connotation and it simply becomes a unit. And oftentimes it means a unit of military. However, size, you want to scale up or down, but that means a unit for managing within an organizational regime. So it could be like a regional, municipal level or provincial level of unit of mobilizable forces that you can use. Okay, so that simply means it's a force, it's a unit that can execute whatever your intention is. And that's the ground force, almost like you can have all your ideology, but if people don't take action on it, it's like it's like all the YouTubers, we can talk all we want, but some people take it seriously and do accordingly. So this do unit would be this cadre or cadre. I almost forget what it is. Okay, cadre, I believe. So this is in the communism concept would be the cadre, the ground force, people who actually do according to this ideology. And here is obviously a cartoon rendering to make fun of the local cadres who, assuming it's a low rank, disenchanted or disfranchised, but still organizationally or title-wise labeled as cadre, but they don't want to do anything. They were so, I guess, disillusioned or like low energy, they don't want to do things. So it's almost like a non-do unit. And this is the twist, the irony there. All right, thank you for your time. See you another day.